What's good, traders? What's good, YouTube? Now let me share with you what fair value gap is. So a fair value gap is basically a price delivery where we have liquidity on one side of the market. That is, on one side of the market, delivery of liquidity is established. Now on one side of the market, we can find more liquidity. So as we all know, we have two sides of the market. Either it's a buy or a sell, right? We have the bearish and the bullish moves in the market. Then we can talk about consolidation. That consolidation is where we see buyers and sellers consolidating the markets. That is, they are filled with liquidity that has no swing high or swing lows or decision in the market. So, but for this case, if we are looking for FVG, that is your fair value gap, we can find only one set of people in the market, which is either just the buyers or the sellers. So on this chart here, we can see that this is a bullish move, right? So we have bullish move. So let's go to our higher time frame. Let's go to our 1 hour. So our 1 hour, we can actually see fair value gaps. Okay, now let me give it to you. So this is where we can identify a fair value gap. Now this is a gap. This is a gap. You see that the market is one-sided, giving liquidity to the bearish side, right? So how to draw your fair value gap is simply by just looking at the previous candle. When you see a space like this, you draw it from your previous candle's low. For a candle, you can see that this is the low of the candle, which is the end of the week, and the top of the week is what we call the high. Then the beginning of the candle is what's your open for a bearish candle, right? This is the open and this is the close. That is why it's now a bearish candle. So for a bearish move, you can see that to draw our fair value gap is from the low of that candle, which is the end of the previous candle's wick, the low of the candle, and you draw it to the end of the next candle, the top of the wick of the next candle. So that is your fair value gap. And keep in mind that fair value gaps are being traded into in the future, just like this. Now this fair value gap, as you can see now, market rallied down and went up to tap into this fair value gap, giving it a balanced price. We'll be talking more of this fair value gap when we go to our liquidity void. So liquidity void are basically seen where we find our fair value gap on a higher time frame. Now on these higher time frames, now you can see that our 1 hour is giving a fair value gap, right? So this fair value gap, if you go down to, let's say we go down to our 15 minutes time frame, we can deduce that this is now called our liquidity void. Now this liquidity void, as you can see on our lower time frame, this is liquidity void, right? This is where we see just the liquidity of a one-sided market, which is the sell side, right? This is the bearish side liquidity. But we'll go to our high time frame. You can still call it liquidity void, but it is more of a fair value gap here, and market is being traded into it. So we can get to see more of these fair value gaps here too. This is also a bearish fair value gap. I remember from our previous week to the end here, this is also a fair value gap. You can see fair value gaps here. All these are fair value gaps, and markets are expected to trade to it, then give us the opposite direction. You can see fair value gaps here. almost everywhere you can find your fair value gaps. There are spaces in the market where we can see just one side of the market is being given that privilege. Let's call it privilege. So you can see fair value gap here. This is a bullish, what's a bullish fair value gap. You can see from this week down to the previous close. All right, so you can go to your chart and identify this fair value gap. You can see right here, market is being traded towards it and fill that void, that liquidity void. You can see fair value gap. You can see proof that market is trading towards it. This is a fair value gap. You can see it, fair value gaps. Market is trading towards it to fill it. You see the market had to fill this fair value gap and traded down. All these fair value gaps are being filled. You can see right here, they are being filled. All right, see, this one is being filled and tapped into the bullish order block here, and with the help of these fair value gaps, which they are known to be powerful, also traded back to the upside. These are fair value gap. You can see this beautiful gap here. This is a gap. Market had to just trade towards it. So if you're trading to the downside, probably you're trading a bearish move to this side. Just know that once you get to this gap, you might just want to fill this up and trade to the opposite side. So you just have to close your positions here. So this is fair value gap being traded, and you can find more fair value gaps. This is a fair value gap also. Markets use this. Fair value gaps and order blocks are quite powerful when trading together. This is fair value gap. You can see it, fair value gaps. Now this market traded towards it, filled that fair value gap and tapped our order block here and went to the upside. You can see what a beautiful trade. All right, more of fair value gaps. See this one too. We have another fair value gap here. All right, okay, that will be the last fair value gap, I guess. So stay tuned and comment on this video. Let's know what you think. Do you see fair value gaps on the instrument you trade? Obviously there are fair value gaps on every instrument, and that's why we use them. See these fair value gaps. All right, and the center of a fair value gap is called consequent encroachment. Let me spell it out right. So this center right here, market is known to be trading into this fair value gap, then close below the consequent encroachment. So that is giving you more of a confirmation that it's going to the opposite direction. So let me spell it out here. Consequent encroachment. All right, so I guess this is spelled out. Okay, consequent encroachment. All right, so this is consequent encroachment, and price tends to fill this fair value gap and pass the consequent encouragement, which is the threshold of that fair value gap, and trade downwards. That is some of the time. It's not all the time, so you don't have to miss out on the trades you take because you want it to reach this consequent encouragement. So sometimes price might not tap into it, but it's just the name, and just know that 50% of that fair value gap is consequent encouragement. So feel free to check out the charts, go to your trading view and find out more about this fair value gaps and see how price delivers the market by trading back into it and giving you an opposite move to the other side. All right, so like, subscribe, and comment what you think. If you can find more of these fair value gaps, this is, as you can see, this is pounds dollar, this is GBP USD. So seeing more of these fair value gaps, and they are quite powerful when you treat them with your order blocks. You see how markets rallied into it, tapped it, filled it, and went back up. Tapped this one, filled it, went back up. So you can spot it almost anywhere. All right, so go to your chart and check out these fair value gaps on all instruments you can find, and let's come back to the next video. Peace.